Heaven just spoke your name. This message is not random. It is a verdict. You have been disqualified from being chosen. Yes, heaven took your title back. But listen carefully. This is not the end. This is the recall before rebirth. You are not watching by accident. You were summoned. Your timeline was interrupted by destiny itself. Everything around you is proof. The silence, the closed doors, the loss of momentum. These are not punishments. They are divine signals. The chosen who forget humility lose the oil. The chosen who love applause more than obedience lose the fire. The chosen who build altars to ego lose the presence. You once burned with purpose. Now you are watching ashes. But heaven sent this word to light the flame again. Stop scrolling. Stop running. Heaven is watching who stays. Type 77 in the comments right now. Let heaven see your obedience. This interruption is not judgment. It is an awakening. God does not waste revelation. When heaven pauses your path, it means your next chapter is being written. This is that pause. This is that moment. The next words you hear will separate spectators from the chosen. Decide who you are. Stay. Listen. Because after now, nothing about your calling will ever be the same. You were chosen once. Heaven trusted you with fire. But somewhere along the way, the flame dimmed. It never happens in a day. It happens in silence. When pride replaces gratitude. When applause becomes your confirmation. When routine replaces surrender. You kept the crown, but lost the covering. You kept the image, but heaven moved on. The fall of the chosen is not loud. It hides in the comfort of success. You still shine, but not with holy fire. You still speak, but heaven no longer echoes. This is how mantles die. Not from sin alone, but from forgetfulness. You forgot who called you. You forgot why you burned. Heaven watches. It warns before it withdraws. And this message is that warning. The chosen fall when they trade conviction for convenience. When they serve memory instead of presence. When performance replaces intimacy. Remember Saul. He began humble, ended deaf. He served people's praise instead of God's voice. He wore the crown, but the oil was gone. And now heaven asks you, are you still burning? Do you still tremble when the Spirit speaks? Or have you grown numb beneath applause? The mantle is not lost because heaven is cruel. It's lost because pride blinds. Heaven will not pour oil on arrogance. If you still feel conviction, mercy remains. If you can still hear this voice, the fire can return. Fall to your knees. Say it out loud, I will return. Heaven does not cancel the chosen. It only recalls them to the altar. Guard the fire again, and the oil will flow again. Heaven's silence is not absence. It is surgery. When the oil lifts, heaven is not punishing you. It is protecting you. The mantle was never lost. It was paused for purification. Every chosen one must pass through the furnace, not to be destroyed, but to be refined. The fire exposes what comfort hides. It burns away pride, noise, and illusion. It leaves only truth. When God removes his hand, it is mercy disguised as loss. He takes you off the stage to save your soul from performance. You say everything fell apart. Heaven replies, no, everything false fell away. The pruning is not rejection. It is preparation. The silence is not abandonment. It is training for a higher sound. Look at your delays. They are not wasted time. They are heaven's waiting room. Moses was chosen, yet exiled. Joseph was chosen, yet imprisoned. David was chosen, yet hunted. The waiting refined what the anointing revealed. If your doors closed, it means your heart was open to danger. If your platform shrank, it means your pride was growing faster than your spirit. If the voices disappeared, it means heaven wanted you to hear his alone. This is the mercy of disqualification. Heaven steps back to pull you forward. The same hand that stripped you is the hand that will rebuild you, but stronger, purer, unshakable. So stop asking, why did I lose it? Ask, what is heaven building in me now? The removal was not the end. It was the restart. You are not being rejected. You are being rewired for destiny. When heaven says, you are no longer chosen, it does not mean dismissed. It means transformed. The old you is finished. The real you is forming. Let the pruning finish its work. Let the silence shape your strength. Let the loss teach your listening. Because mercy is louder than failure, and grace is stronger than shame. If this word touches your spirit, write ISCE mercy in the comments. Let heaven see your understanding. You are not disqualified. You are being redesigned. Heaven is not finished with you. It is only beginning again. Every destiny passes through fire. There is no crown without the furnace. You prayed for anointing. Heaven answered with heat. Fire is not punishment. It is promotion disguised as pain. The chosen are never destroyed by fire. They are revealed through it. When the flames rise, everything false melts first. Masks, titles, ego, fear. Only the eternal remains. Only the pure can carry powers. Listen carefully. The same flame that consumes the proud refines the humble. The same heat that breaks pretenders forges prophets. You said, I can't take this anymore. Heaven whispered, good, now I can begin. The furnace exposes motives. It burns away the need to impress. It destroys the addiction to applause. It teaches you to stand alone with God. When the fire came, you thought heaven left you. But heaven was inside the fire, just like the fourth man in the furnace of Babylon. You were not abandoned. You were being refined in plain sight. The chosen who run from fire remain shallow. The chosen who walk through fire become unstoppable. Pain is heaven's classroom. Suffering is the language of shaping. You prayed for power. Heaven gave you process, because without process, power corrupts. Every moment of burning is heaven expanding your capacity, making you strong enough to hold the next glory. Do not curse the fire. Bless it. It is cleansing you of everything that cannot go with you. The greater the fire, the greater the future. Gold does not fear the flame. It welcomes it, because it knows what emerges will shine. So let the furnace do its work. Let it burn every attachment, every fear, every false alliance. Let it leave you empty enough for heaven to fill. You are not being destroyed. You are being distilled. The smoke you see is not your end. It is the sign that your impurities are leaving. Hold still in the heat. Keep praying when the silence screams. Keep standing when nothing makes sense. This is the rebirth of the chosen, the death of the self-made, the rise of the refined. Heaven is not testing you to break you. It is proving you to trust you. When the fire ends, you will not be the same. You will not talk the same. You will not walk the same. You will carry a weight that cannot be taught, only tempered. If you are in the fire right now, declare it publicly. Type "Refine me, Lord" in the comments. Let the heavens record your surrender. Because when the smoke clears, your mantle will glow again. Your voice will carry authority again. Your name will carry purpose again. The fire does not take what is yours. It takes what was never needed. Stand firm. Endure the heat. This furnace is not your failure. It is your formation. The old version of you is gone. The forged version is rising. This is the process of fire. This is the furnace of rebirth. The same heaven that stripped you is the heaven now calling your name again. You thought you were finished. You thought you lost the calling. But heaven was never canceling you. It was preparing you. This is not rejection. This is re-election. When God chooses you again, He does not call the old version of you. He calls the refined one, the one who survived the silence, the one who stayed through the fire. The scars you hide are your credentials. The tears you shed are your training. The crushing you endured was your coronation. Heaven is not looking for perfection. It is looking for purity. The proud are skipped. The broken are chosen. You lost what made you visible, so heaven could restore what makes you valuable. This is how God works. He closes your platform to open your purpose. He removes the crowd so you can hear His command. Listen now. You are being chosen again, not for comfort, but for consecration. When God chooses you again, He does not return you to where you were. He promotes you into what you were meant to be. This time, you will not serve for applause. You will serve from alignment. This time, you will not chase visibility. You will carry authority. Heaven is shifting the anointing from the loud to the loyal, from the gifted to the yielded, from the talented to the trusted. The world saw your fall. Now it will witness your fire. You are not who you were. You are the version forged in obedience. Peter denied, then preached. David fell, then ruled. Moses fled, then led. You too will rise again. When heaven re-elects, it never repeats. It rebuilds. It reshapes. It resurrects. Your rejection was the rehearsal for your return. Your silence was the setup for your sound. Do not mourn the season that ended. Celebrate the one that is awakening. Heaven is calling the remnant, those who know the cost, those who bowed but did not break, those who burned but did not quit. This is your moment of reinstatement. Your name is being whispered again in heaven's council. The oil that left is returning. The flame that dimmed is reigniting. You are not being restored to status. You are being restored to service. Heaven does not reuse. It renews. The voice that once said, "You are no longer chosen," now declares you are chosen again. Let those words echo through your spirit. Chosen again. This is not the same calling. It carries greater weight. It demands greater obedience. It offers greater glory. If you feel this stirring inside, respond in faith. Type "I am chosen again" in the comments. Let the world witness your return. Heaven does not remember your failure. It remembers your surrender. The mantle is returning. The assignment is reopening. The grace is doubling. You have been through fire. Now you carry flame. You have walked through loss. Now you carry wisdom. Rise again. Stand again. Speak again. Heaven has reappointed you. And this time, you will not fall for fame. You will walk in fear of the Lord. You will carry destiny with discipline. You will guard the oil with humility. Because this time, you know the cost of losing it. And that is what makes you unstoppable. You are not a survivor. You are a sign, a living prophecy of restoration. Heaven is choosing you again. Walk like it. Speak like it. Burn like it. The same voice that once said enough now says go. Go where you once failed. Go where fear stopped you. Go where destiny waits. You are not the same. You are refined, reassigned, reborn. Heaven's final word over you is not rejection. It is re-election. Rise, chosen one. Your name has been called again. This is the hour of sending. The moment when heaven says, move. You have been broken. You have been rebuilt. Now you must burn again. The silence trained your hearing. The fire tested your faith. Now the commission demands your courage. Heaven is not asking for emotion. It is commanding action. Walk again, even if your legs still shake, even if your past still whispers, even if fear still knocks. Because obedience is louder than insecurity, and purpose is stronger than pain. When God restores a chosen one, He does not return them to comfort. He sends them into collision. You are not called to hide in healing. You are called to heal while marching. Walk again. Burn again. The world needs the version of you that fire produced. The humble one. The bold one. The one who no longer performs but carries presence. This is your commission. Not to impress, but to impact. Not to shine for self, but to burn for heaven. Every chosen one reaches this moment. The moment where mercy turns into movement. Where revelation becomes responsibility. Where faith stops being private and becomes prophetic. You have seen the pattern. Full fire rebirths. Now comes function. Heaven does not anoint spectators. It anoints soldiers. The harvest is waiting. The nations are trembling. The remnant is rising. And your name is on the list of the sent. This is why you survived. This is why the fire did not consume you. This is why the silence did not break you. Because your survival was never for comfort. It was for commission. You are not a wounded saint. You are a walking weapon of light. So move. Preach again. Build again. Sing again. Lead again. Prophecy again. Because the oil has returned and the time has come. Every step you take from now on must be intentional. Every word must carry weight. Every act must echo eternity. Heaven has trusted you again. Do not waste this fire. Guard your purity. Stay low before God. Stay fierce against darkness. Let no applause steal your alignment. You are not chosen to be famous. You are chosen to be faithful. The next season requires movement, not memory. The next chapter demands obedience, not nostalgia. Lift your head, chosen one. The mantle has been returned. The command has been issued. Walk again. Burn again. Let every place you step become holy ground. Let every word you speak become a spark. Let every battle you face become a testimony. Because this is the age of fire carriers, and heaven has ignited you for this generation. You are not the echo. You are the trumpet. You are not the follower. You are the flame. Type "I will walk again" in the comments. Let heaven see your yes. Let earth witness your awakening. The time for hiding is over. The time for hesitation is gone. This is your final commission. Walk again, burn again, and let your obedience set the world on fire. The message has been spoken. The mantle has been restored. The commission has been released. Now heaven watches how you walk. You are not the same one who started this message. Something inside you shifted. The flame is alive again. This is your confirmation. You are refined. You are re-elected. You are recommissioned. The interruption was not your ending. It was your awakening. The fall was not your failure. It was your formation. The silence was not rejection. It was instruction. Every loss was a lesson. Every wound was a doorway. Every tear was oil. The fire you carry now is not borrowed. It is built. It cannot be shaken by applause. It cannot be silenced by fear. You have seen what happens when pride speaks louder than prayer. Now live what happens when surrender speaks louder than shame. Walk with holy focus. Stand with quiet authority. Speak only what heaven breathes. Because the world does not need more noise. It needs the voice of the refined. Let this word echo long after you leave this screen. Let it burn through your habits, your thoughts, your schedule. Let it reorder your days around destiny. You are chosen again, not to be seen, but to be sent. Remember this always. Heaven never wastes fire. When the world asks who you are, answer with power and peace. I am the one heaven interrupted. I am the one refined by fire. I am the one chosen again. This is not the end of the story. This is the ignition of your assignment. Walk in it. Burn with it. Live for it. And as the light leaves this screen, remember the voice that called you. This is Wisdom Trails, where prophecy meets destiny, where the chosen rise again, where fire never dies,